Tim, my man Catroni. How are you, sir?
Hi, Derek. What's going on, brother?
You're looking rather, look at your posture, dude. You're rather confident.
Yeah,
Yes, you
yeah,
should see Tim right now. Woo! This is a confident
yeah.
man.
Well, hey, this shit didn't happen overnight, Derek. I took years to get to where I am. And you know why we're talking about this thing. In a previous podcast, we talk about swagger.
Yeah.
I know when there's times in my life when somebody enters a room or I'm talking to somebody, and I know there's something different. It's not the regular guy, and it's not somebody that's the loudest or the most boisterous person. It's just a person that carries himself differently. And I can think about like details of the way they say it or the way they enunciate things, or just the physical posture about the person that's in front of me. What makes somebody have that level of, I guess, confidence to
It's
bring the fire when they show up?
it's practice. It's practice. It's knowledge. It's knowing. But it's not only is it knowledge. It's knowledge that you actually use, and that's where the confidence comes from. But you have to. I mean, Tim, think about you and I back 2015. We're hanging out on the beach. We're there with Chris Ostrander, and we're just having a good old time. We were different people, and I actually had a conversation with Ben Wright and Amy Wright, and they were talking about you yesterday on Agoge, and you made some sort of funny comment, and Ben even noticed. He's like, Tim's really changed. I said, dude, you should have known him back in 2015. He's a completely different guy. I mean, he's still a masshole, but he's not really a masshole anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So what Derek just said was masshole with a M. So don't beep us out on that one.
Yes, true.
Um,
That's true.
yeah,
But it
Derek.
has. So
I
to answer your
yeah.
question, it's the training. It is just the training, the practice, the reps, all of it. That's where it comes from.
With comparing to that moment in Cabo all those years ago, it's we just weren't the same people, dude. And I think eventually we would have changed, changed from where we were to a different version of ourselves. But I think it was amplified and it was sped up, so the future came sooner, and that's because we forced ourselves to be better at what we did, having a direction, a vision. That we wanted a better business, we wanted more for ourselves, we wanted to have be more successful and more money and whatever else we had. The goals were very similar for you and I.
Yeah.
We came to fruition, and you're talking about role playing and repeating things, and there's things that give us and give people that are like us that ability, where people know we're different. And let's break it down to like in business. The size of my bank account, the size of your bank account, it gives us the feeling that we just carry ourselves differently. But you
Yeah.
don't have to have money to have it.
No. You can sell like you're independently wealthy whether you are or not because it's the same thing. It's just the confidence. Now even if I didn't have any money, I'm still going to sell that way. I'm not going to sell like I don't have money. I'm going to sell how I've trained and how I've reached it. And here's the other thing, Tim, is I used to avoid phone calls. And it took me a little while to figure out, like, why I'm avoiding phone calls. Like, what is it? And there was a fear growing up because my grandmother would literally hand me the phone to talk to an aunt I hadn't talked to. So I got really scared. So it developed some head trash. And I would have literally, that's kind of where it started. But when I thought about it, I didn't know what to say to my aunt. I didn't have any words. And then I stopped avoiding phone calls later because of all the training. Now when the phone rings, I know no matter what is on the other end of that phone, I'm going to be able to handle that conversation in some way. So that's where the confidence comes in. And then when you're on the phone with the person, they hear it, they feel it, because now we're not doing the ums and the hus and stuff like we're pausing and thinking. That goes away because we have the words organized and ready and how to handle the objections. And when we walk into a room, that confidence is there too, because even there, we know how to communicate with people. So that's where I feel you and I and anyone that's been in the battleground for a period of time has put in the effort, especially our black belts. They're different people because now they know how to communicate, and someone hears that over the phone because we sell and qualify over the phone, and they can hear it. They can feel it. They can feel and hear the swagger.
There's a difference in talking to somebody. And I just got off the Agoge, and we talked about selling with no money in the bank, having nothing on the schedule or no funds in your business bank account or your personal account, and how you should sell. The selling, the ability to sell or to help somebody on the phone has nothing to do with the money you have in your bank account. It
No.
should have nothing to do with it. So why is it then if you're not where you need to be yet, you're not that person you imagine yourself being. How do you sell the same as having? I'm going to use the word I want to lead to is having an abundant mindset.
Yeah.
You have this. You envision that you're already there. Somebody's talking to you. They know there's something different about you, but there really isn't. You can say, "Oh, I'm going to fake it till I make it." It's like, well, let's take that another step. It's like, I don't want to fake it because you know who's looking in the mirror and realizes the truth about the person you're talking to. And that's hard to hide from. It truly is. Having the scenario of having a website with pricing, having an area where you, Derek, you have your own shop, you have your own garden center where you have displays up there. You have recognition of people who know who you are. You have a vehicle wrap. You have trucks. You have all these things going for you. You have a community that endorses you. When you're selling from a place like that, it's freaking easy.
It is.
It's simpler. And, yeah, you show up someplace.
Simple, or it's simple, it's not easy, whichever one that is.
But you're not easily shaken. You're not easily changed because you know who you are. You're confident in that. And I'm looking at, and guys, I'm recording, I'm looking at Derek in the screen, and I'm looking at his eyes, and he's just nodding at me.
I'm thinking about how I got here and just like all the things. I've always been a confident person as long as I was in a situation that I felt comfortable. And I would fake it till I made it in certain situations, and I would just go, you know what, I'm just going to go into this, which got me in trouble a lot of times. Everyone can do this. You just have to put in the time. I think about the bank account. I think about the swagger. I think about where you and I are now, and it's just because it was 10 years ago or 9 years ago that we just started doing this stuff and making it happen and getting around the right people. That's the other thing. Think about who we get to hang out with. Changes everything. You got to choose who you're hanging out with. That's where it starts. And then you just have to put in the time. And if you really like this stuff and you're passionate about it, that's way more fun. I know I'm having fun.
I can't imagine going back to, I just can't imagine going back to the person I was because I thought I was happy, but didn't realize how much more there was if I just did some really uncomfortable things. Uncomfortable things, Derek, right? Like the stuff to get where you got to go. And like you just openly, freely admitted that being on the phone, right? Just
yeah,
that is an uncomfortable thing. You have to freaking talk to people. The Shin Fu business does not happen unless you do the uncomfortable things of being on the phone, making the uncomfortable calls when you screw something up and you don't do what you told somebody you would do. For whatever reason, and you could make up lies, whatever. I don't lie. I try to tell the truth always. But when I make a mistake, I'm going to call somebody. I'm not going to send them a text or an email. I'm going to call them and tell them. I mean, it was just this morning. Somebody sent me an email saying, "Hey, you're supposed to give me $200 off your service this year for something last year. You messed up." I'm like, "Oh my God!" Pick up the phone. It's like,
yeah.
Phil, I failed you, and I made a big mistake. How do you want to handle this? It's like, who does that?
Not enough people, that's for sure. Because Phil feels better. Nah.
Phil feels heard. Phil has spent $4,300 with me this year for seasonal service, and has spent more with me last year for the work he's done with his feature. He trusts me. He likes me. He knows I'm not going to be going out of business next year. He knows when we come to his space, we bring the fire. He knows when I say something, I mean it. And that is rare, dude. That is so rare.
It is.
None of the coaches have ever, Derek, never have failed me. Ever.
No.
None of them. There's a reason why Tom has brought us on board. Because we share the same thing. We're the same. We are the same. We're different, but we're the same.
Yeah.
We care. And there's integrity, and people know it. Even if the contract, I wasn't part of the Contractor Fight, I would not change. I'd be that person. Because I can't change that. That's who I am now.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
I know you're the same.
Yeah. There's no going back. I'm not even the same person. Like I don't even recognize myself in certain ways. And I hear myself talking sometimes, and it's like, who the hell is that? Because that is not that country hick from East Nashville that used to
have
talk.
his power shut off. Right?
That's the truth. That is the
Yeah,
truth.
yeah.
More than
That
once.
I don't want to go back to that. I don't want
No.
to go back to that. I love what I have. And, Derek, and people who know me and have been following along realize I just had a big change with my business where I had to rehire a crew,
Yeah.
create some more crews out of nothing. And the things that I did, the uncomfortable things, why I'm telling this, as I did these videos, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them, anyways, for hiring
Yeah.
about what we're bringing, what we're looking for. And I was off in this part of Massachusetts I never even knew existed because they got all these little towns. I never heard the name before. So I'm in this person's backyard and I'm looking at their pond and we're using the Shinfu Tree of Life topics. I'm like, they're coming out of me like crazy. I'm
Yeah.
using every tool I got because I want to let them know that they got their guy.
Yeah.
And I was up against somebody else. It's like there is nobody else. There's me.
Yeah. Yep.
And I says, you said you found me online. How'd you find me? She says, I saw your video. And like, this lady is a biologist. Her husband is he owns a pharmacy, something or other. And I'm like, they saw my hiring video somewhere on the internet.
How crazy is that?
I mean, it was crazy. And it was not what that video was meant
No.
to be, but
That's
somehow
awesome.
went somewhere else. I said, so,
I'm
right.
glad
And
you saw
here I
this.
am.
Can't do the work. I'll sell you the job, but I have
I,
nobody to produce it.
yeah, I didn't say we were, yeah, I kind of said we're expanding our business, not like we
There you
replaced
go. There
everybody
you
on
go. There
board.
you
Yeah. But so I asked her, see, let me ask you something. When you watched that video, did it seem kind of hokey? She goes, no. She goes, no, I know who was coming to my house, and I felt good about it. And that's, again, Derek, I already had the posture. I had the swagger. I
go.
walked in on that job. I wasn't a newbie. She knew me from, I have that credibility when I walk somewhere.
100%.
When I pull up to a Dunkin' Donuts, they see me, they see my truck, they see my uniform, they see my guys. I told in a meeting this morning, I was with my guys, and they're a new crew, and I said, guys, something's you're going to notice. And if you haven't noticed yet, when you drive somewhere, when you guys are on a site, when you're at a traffic light, people are going to look at you because they see the wrap. They see you guys dressed in uniform. They'll see you on property. You're going to see the guys out there mowing lawns, and they're going to look over, and they're going to be watching you. And you're going to think that there's something wrong with you or the truck, and it's not, dude, because they want to be you. They want to be part of what you got. We got something really cool here. And they're going to come to you, and they're going to ask you, you guys hiring? What are you going to tell them?
Hell yes, we are.
Yeah, at our website. That's how I found them. I went to the website. Again, that's part of the credibility, the clout, the posture, the swagger. It's like when we roll together, and we mean something.
Yeah.
There's no misunderstanding, Derek, when you show up to an event, when you show up in a room. What's going to happen?
Yep.
People are going to look for you. People are going to want to talk to you. People want what you have.
Usually whistle and cheer when I walk in the room.
Can't go nowhere with that. Where do I go with that?
He's here.
Yeah,
He's here.
Finally.
Hooray.
Finally.
Hip, hip,
Open
hooray.
bar. Yeah, hip hip hooray. Wait, look, this version of Derek Johnson didn't happen overnight. It didn't.
No.
And
It took like 3 days.
yeah, what the thing was, Derek, is you put yourself around people that you felt uncomfortable with.
That's all it is. I just got in
And
the
you
room
want-
with the alphas and I just worked my way through it. And I even look at that, like put me in a room full of alphas, I'll be just fine. And why? Because I'm just going to make it about them. It's not going to be about me. It's really simple. But it all comes from the training. It comes from just hanging out with everyone. It's really simple. It really is.
Yeah.
But you have to put in the training, you have to put in the effort. So if you listen to this podcast, just get in Battleground. Just join the group. Get in here. Do BG90. Go through it. This is how this stuff works. Because Tim and I were products or byproducts of this, and we were just like you, schlepping around, going to see people that never hired you in the first place, breaking down estimates, poor communication, not collecting deposits like you're supposed to, not wearing uniforms, not having your trucks wrapped, and still thinking you were a badass. But turns out, once you get the training, you become that.
Yeah, it's a mixture of everything. It's not one thing. It's everything that had come together for you over a period of time. It's not you. It's not your shirt. It's not your truck. It's not your business. It's not your money. It's everything. It's all of it. It's all of it. One thing at a time. Just one thing. Derek said it. We're going to reiterate that. Battleground. 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 You got to be around people who want to win like you do.
Yep.
Derek and I realized that when I sat with Derek on the beach that I had to have what he had. And back then, Derek, you didn't have nothing nearly, but you had more than what I had. And I
Sure.
knew. And you were in the right room.
Yep. Yeah, I like $5 more probably.
Yeah, you looked a whole lot better, though. If and that picture's still out there floating around, you can see how we were in rough shape.
Yes. Yes. We physically look different as well. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, we should have a T-shirt made with our picture on it. And just
Oof.
we could probably sell that. Oof,
There
that
you
would be
go.
ugly.
That'd be
Yeah.
ugly. That was an ugly one.
All right. Hey, Derek, man, thanks for hanging out this week. Guys, just do something better for yourselves. If you want to be that guy, if you want to be that gal, if you want to be that couple, if you want to be that business, you got to do something that nobody else is doing. Do the uncomfortable things. Get around people that know how to win. Do what they're doing. Don't go crazy. You don't have to figure this out. We got to figure it out for you. Just follow
Yeah.
people who've already done it.
Show up.
We good?
We're good. All right, Tim.
Man, thanks, Derek. See ya. See you next week.
See you again.